Yes! That worked out much better than I thought it was going to. Hi, welcome to A Thing. The premise for this video is simple. I'm challenging myself to make a piece of music using only YouTube's audio library. Now, if you don't know about this is pretty great. YouTube has a massive audio library of original, artist-created music that you can use royalty-free in your videos. Not only that, but also a massive amount of sound effects. Now, inspired by guys like Andrew Wong and Composerly, I've been getting really into sampling and stuff like that, and I've really been wanting to challenge myself to try something different. The premises are simple. I'm gonna spend some time, I'm gonna look through things. I'm gonna look for nice hard-hitting like hits, some kicks, some snares. I would like to find something that maybe can serve as a riser, and I would like to find some things that I can chop up and use as chords. I don't know what genre this thingy will fall into, but I'm hoping that it'll be a fun journey that we can enjoy together. Welcome to the channel, let's get down to it. I'm giving myself about an hour to try and do this. Ooh, I'm already liking this. I'm just gonna indiscriminately download some. I don't want to spend too much time looking through too many things. Ooh. Be able to use some of that. I've been looking for I need something that's just a kick and a snare or something. I want just a beat. Oh, that's beautiful. Just on a side note, I don't know like backstories to all these artists, but a lot of these people who are posting on the audio library have YouTube channels. So, you know, like, if you hear something you like, go ahead and show them some love and support. I want a bit of isolated acoustic guitar chords. Oh. Some of this has that, you know, royalty-free sound. I don't know how to explain it, but a lot of it's just good. I want some nice long chords. Okay, I spent too much time on acoustic guitar. Organ. Let's look for some organ chords. That has a distinct Life is a Highway vibe. Lauren Dusky, do you? Oh, it's the same person I was looking at earlier. Ah. Lauren Dusky is doing some good work. You have gained yourself a fan. Oh, that is really nice. Almost Chainsmokersy. I like that. Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what I need. Strings? Might be able to use that. That is a great sample. I would like just some percussion. Would be great. I need some aggressive like timpani hits or something. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Gross. Guess that's one problem with like massive audio libraries like this is it's like you're a little overspoiled for choice and it's a little overwhelming. There's so much I'll never be able to use all of it, which is probably good. Yeah, when I say big cinematic boom, I basically want someone to rip off Hans Zimmer. That's cool. I'll download that, see if I can work with that. I think I found. Yes. Know what that reminds me of? Remember in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy? I think it was the first one? Yeah. Where Norman Osborn is conversing with the dark version. Oh, where are you? I'm over here. That's very much the same vibe. I love it. I'm a sucker for organ. Sorry, I'm gonna download some organ. With all that, I'll be able to do something. Next. I might be able to like snip that first bit and use it. Sure, how many things have I downloaded by now? I don't know. I'm gonna download some sound effects next. Quickly ran to the loo and realized I've already been at this for 20 minutes. I'm enjoying this way too much. That sounds like a duck. I would like to have like a nice hard-hitting, like a cannon or something. Oh, that's nice. That's nice long reverb as well. Trim that, maybe use that as a kick. I don't know, we'll see. Ew. I could use that as a clap, like a nice build-up. Did I see babies? Ooh, that's weird. Oh, that's awful. I'm just, gonna not do anything with that. I would like some singing as well, like a woman singing or something, and I can put some nice reverb on, maybe use as vocal chops. I'll work with that. I'll see what I can do. Wouldn't be a track without a clock ticking in there somewhere. I am nothing if not unoriginal. Awful. I think I'll come back if I see I need some more stuff. I'm probably gonna spend a couple of more minutes looking for more things, and then I'm gonna jump into the door. See you there. Welcome back. It's been a few days. I've taken my time to organize some of these samples. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was like 40 to 50 samples. Let me quickly check. It was a few. That's fun. I didn't end up using all of it, and I went back and got some more specific things. All in all, I'm pretty happy with the result. Let's jump into it. We have a colorful door in front of us. I wanted to start off. A storm is a brewing. I wanted to start off with a nice, something I can build on, some keys or something, and I ended up using this guy. You can tell I chopped it up. Basically sounded like this. It eventually goes into that. I cut that out, unfortunately, and I used some high pass filter, cut off some of the low end. Just change the order of the chords a little, and then upon that I added just some nice swells. A bunch of this is happening. If you've been listening to my music for a while, you'll notice I do way too much of this. Nice. I did quite a bit of pitch automation. This is pretty much what it sounded like before I pitch shifted. I used this sample quite a bit, and I pitch shifted it into whatever direction I needed it to go. I used this sample quite a bit. Some distant gunfire or like a cannon fire. There's this really cool drum fill that I found in like a reggae song that I just put some panning automation on. Add the gunshot there, organ. This is one of my personal favorite things I used. You'll notice I cheated a little, also cut it up, used different segments because there are moments where the chord changed a bit dramatically, but the best part is this wasn't even like a nice diverse choir, it was like a choir of monks. Pitch shifted and EQ'd till it sounds like this. So that's pretty fun, and then the two of those together sound something like this. I should mention as to tempo, sorry I haven't mentioned this yet. I vaguely approximated the tempo of the piano track, which I landed on around 105 BPM. The monks and everything else you're hearing, I had to, for the most part, severely time automation everything. Here's a cool sample I found as part of like an EDM trackish thing. So I really like that. There is some pitch automation on this as well. Here's what it sounded like before I started playing with it. It's part of like a build-up, so it has like hats and like all kinds of other noise, so I filtered some of that out. Add some pitch automation to fit with the rest of the chords. Over here, there's some more reversey things. Oh, it's same big gunshot. Just notice you can hear some birds in there as well, which I think add quite a bit. Here is a favorite one that I ended up not using as much. It's like a horror ambient thing. I might have used this in my EP as well. I'm not sure. I might have. Goes up and down again. Oh, I found that sample and found it really enjoyable. So like that sounds like a cool build-up for a thing. I did end up using the babies. Here's the original sample. I did that twice, I think. Yeah, that's creepy, but I affected it like this. It really hides in the mix, but it just adds a little bit of low end. This thing I'm really proud of. So this kind of electric guitar bit used to sound like this. I added the little stutters and I changed the tempo and shifted the tempo around until it matched with the rest. So
So it's a bit more like a lead line. There was one chord that I liked, but it clashed a little too much. That major sounded weird, so I changed its harmony in relation to the rest. Some pretty cool, very like tremolo effect guitar stuff. I think I only used that once. Yeah, I don't know what this is supposed to be. It's like a fun build-up loop. It ends up going into this, but that didn't work for me, so I ended up pitch shifting, and there's quite a bit of automation on this as well.
It's raining.
Nice. I doubled that and had it like do different things, like a severe high pass filter that opens up a little near the end. I think there's a bit of reverb on there, so together you get this. I also had its stereo field open a little. So this is something I'm pretty proud of. Firstly, got some organ up in here. The reason I chopped it up like that is I found some really nice long chords that I used as kind of the bass for this. And you'll hear that later. The organ piece that I used, there's a lot of severe changes in modality. So I ended up just using a couple of clips of a couple of majors, a couple of minor chords. With that, I wanted to use a clock, but I wanted to do something different. So instead of just having it keep time, so I had it speed up near the end. And that is enjoyable. It's very subtle, but it is there. So now we really use this bass bit. I will admit, I overused this severely. So the end result of that drum fill I used earlier, combined with some, I think it's like an 808 type of thing. I clipped it from something else. So you got that supporting the original fill, and you've got chops over here. So this bass line continues over here. I needed to make a new track because I wanted to change the effects a little. I wanted to make some severe pitch changes and timing changes. So here's what that sounds like. That was enjoyable, was able to mess around with that. There's a really cool bit over here. Now with our kick. Okay, so this is kind of cool. This foreshadows the melody and the drop an octave lower. To my ear, that sounds a lot like a Higuachi. You'll hear it more clearly later. I really just chopped it up and pitch shifted where I wanted the melody to be. Here's that guitar theme repeating again. Slightly altered this time with this guitar bit that I ended up using. That sounds a little weird, I grant, but in the mix, it ends up working. Oh, I just found this loop. Sounds like something that would be in the background of an anime intro, and I just did a couple of repetitions of that. I ended up using that 9mm click as a kind of like a hat snare type of build-up thing. Pitch automation on there. Basically wanted to have that like trappy vibe. It ended up being very subtle in the mix. That's also fine. That's a crowd cheer, I think, with some pitch automation. Have those alternate, and so everything together we have this nice big. Yes! That worked out much better than I thought it was going to. So we have the kick, basic stuff. I'm gonna have that run. Very proud of this bass thing I made. That's just one of the samples. I wanted just to have the bass, and then when I extended it so I could change the tempo again, it had that. It sounds like a Mario coin situation, but it was in the wrong key. So what I ended up doing, I pitched. Let me show the automation. For the most part, if I changed the bass correctly, the high note also worked, so I left those for the most part. But then some of these I had to change, for example here, because I wanted that specific interval, and I'll explain in a sec why. Some of the intervals I wanted specific because I found this beautiful piece of nonsense. Ooh! I had to shift some of the notes around to have that exact tempo, but it ended up sounding like this. It's it's like swung, and I really like that. So with the bass, it has something like this. And that is really enjoyable to me. I did make this because I wanted a nice spanky funk guitar, couldn't find one. It just sounds like some high end with like some sidechain on it with the kick. It's just like, I added a harmony for that cool synthy thing. Remember when I mentioned I wanted some specific intervals, so I made this. So that's really cool. Get these cool melodies out of there. And then for the main melody, I used that Ikuachi sample again. You'll hear it gives out every now and then because I wanted it to back and forth with some nice ping pong delay on there. Oh, and then the choir voices come back. For the chords, for the chorus, I just added some sidechain. And there's like some delay baked into that track, so that plays around with that pretty well. For the kind of final build-up, I made this weird sample out of that kind of country rock thing. I wanted to use more of it, and I'll explain why, but I ended up just using the kick. So it has this a little bit of a hat there, which I kind of like. I initially wanted to use this whole section. Oh! Oh! See, that just speaks to me, that like Hammond organ coming in. Really enjoyable to me. Ended up not using it because a lot of the other frequencies were clashing, and that's unfortunate. But I did end up using the chord progression. I initially made this. Dun, 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 dun. I have this. It's crowd shearing that has been pitch automated and speed automated to kind of create like a weird choppy. One thing I do really like about it is it does this swung rhythm thing near the end. And that's enjoyable to me, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it in, so we'll see. Found some nice string samples. Now they sound a bit unnatural, but in the mix I wanted them to sound EDM-y and then change over to sounding very natural. That's why you'll notice the way I crossfaded them looks a little wonky there, because I wanted that. Yeah, it reacts with itself a little. Now for the last bit, I brought back the monks. Now for my favorite bit, the ending. Now I'll be honest, it isn't super cohesive because I kind of changed genres in the last moment because I found these samples. So firstly, changed the tempo only slightly. It's like 99% the original time. Did some panning and delay stuff and changed pitch so it sounds like a bigger room of drummers. Yeah. In one of the tracks I used EQ to accentuate those higher ones. So it's almost sound like clapping and stuff as well. I played around with the timing and stuff so I could get this nice repeating bang. Ooh, that's beautiful to me. I think it's the Ikuachi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This track also has these little bits of percussion in them, like these percussive hits and this like string instrument. I can't remember the name, but I'll try and look it up while I'm editing and put it in on the screen. And I've always been a massive fan of like that articulation that I think very few instruments can do that. I think you could probably do that with a flute or a saxophone, but it's not really commonplace in the kind of music that uses those instruments. So Eastern music tends to use that way more. I did a naughty thing and I added a harmony. So this over here, that is pitch shifted quite a bit up to almost this eagle-y, like it sounds like an eagle. and then it comes back down. I do think that is outside of the range of the instrument at that point, so that's a bit of an illegal move, but that's okay. It serves the purpose. At this point, I didn't want the two Hikawachi tracks to just be doing the same thing in harmony. I wanted them to have some counterpoint, so I started doing different things with the two melodies. That is very similar to a melody that I found in this chanting. Pay attention to the higher notes. Oh, that's really nice. And then in combination with the Hikawachi, we have stuff like this. So I should mention these hits do a really cool thing with the drums. Got this nice off hit like boom, ba, ba, dun, dun. As for the rest, I used my favorite sample of Gregorian monks, pitch shifted up to be slightly more diverse. Added some strings. Then I added a harmony that I found. Excuse me, it just started raining. Added a harmony that I made from a different part of the monk thing where there were a smaller concentration of notes. So I was able to just eloquently slip it in there. Very Lord of the Ringsy. All in all, this has been quite the experience. It's a weird, I don't exactly know how to explain it. Challenging yourself to use already existing music chopped up to make a new piece of music. It strangely forces you in a specific direction whilst giving you almost more freedom. The various tracks I chose said this is what the keyboard is playing. You can pitch shift it and you can change its timing, but you cannot decide the voicings and things. And that made it a little easier. A lot of work had to be done in the arrangement part of it. So I wholeheartedly recommend this if you produce music or if you want to challenge your arranging mind to make something entirely out of stock audio. It really forces your brain to work in a certain way. With no further ado, let's listen to a thing.
Nice and dramatic. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed the thing you just endured, there are more things on this channel. If you want to support me and the things I do, hit subscribe and share it with a friend. I don't care where. Reddit's really good, I hear. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I sometimes do things there, and you can I'll put links to everything in the description. Thanks so much for joining me. Goodbye.